Okay, hey, I'm Ray Runs, and I'm just an old country boy from Tennessee. Uh, at age 19, I was drafted in the Army, and I didn't have a chance to go to college because my family didn't have a lot of money, and they couldn't afford to send me to college. But I think I did pretty well through the years. I was in sales for 42 years, working for two different companies. And I retired in 2019, and I've been retired for 6 years now, loving every bit of it. I'm married to a wonderful girl, Lisa Rhines, and we have 2 children and 5 wonderful grandchildren. And I spend a lot of time with them.
You're a war veteran, and so which war did you fight in?
In 1967, I went to Vietnam and fought in the Vietnam War. It was an unusual war. It was a jungle warfare. It was unlike any other wars that we've had, and it was tough. I was with the 1st Cav Infantry Unit, and we were air mobile. And when I say air mobile, it means that we could get on a chopper and they could drop us off into a zone where the fighting was going on, and just in an hour or so we could move our whole company, with those choppers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was a tough war. I was in the infantry, carried an M60 machine gun with several rounds around my neck. I was I know God looked that over me, because when I first got in the country, they assigned me to Bravo Company, 2nd Battalion, 8th Division. Well, it so happened that the Delta Company got wiped out, and they transferred me over to Delta Company. And I said, oh Lord, what have I gotten into? But anyway, from that day on, it seemed like Delta Company had all the good luck, and the Bravo Company lost a lot of people, and they had all the bad luck. But I know God looked out over me. He had to.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I like I said, we've waited in the rice paddies. We were in jungles. There was one time where we were in the jungle. It was so thick you couldn't even hardly see the sky, and we had to cut our way through. For 2 days we were in that jungle. But I got to see quite a bit of action. But I'd say after I've been there about 5 months, we were set up on an LZ. That's a landing zone where you bring in supplies and stuff like that. We thought it was pretty safe, but that night we got hit with mortar rounds, and unfortunately I was wounded. I was hit with some shrapnel.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was hit, I didn't actually know it, but I kept feeling this burning in my back. So one of my buddies was sitting next to me. He said, are you okay? And I said, oh no, my back's burning. And he said, let me look at it. And bless his heart, he immediately said, oh my goodness, medic.
Oh, no.
And so anyway, the medic came over, and I had received some shrapnel in my back. And so they brought the medevac in to take me back to the hospital. Well, they shot me full of morphine, so it sort of helped with the pain. But come to find out, I had a punctured lung. So they rushed me back to the hospital, and my buddies later told me that the chopper that came in that night to pick me up, take me to the hospital, it almost crashed when they picked me up. So there again, God was looking out after me. So,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I went back to the hospital, and I spent 40 days in the hospital, and they got me fixed up, and they sent me back out to the fields to fight again.
Okay.
So
now, like, looking back on it, how would you say it affected you, like fighting in the war?
it's affected me. I was diagnosed with PTSD after I got back, and they tell us that nobody that's in infantry that's doing fighting and sees a lot of, people shot and killed and stuff like that, that they can't help but having some form of PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
But I did therapy for that and counseling, and I've made it okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about, friends that I've lost over there. I lost several buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And one particular night, I'll show you another instance where God protected me. My squad was going out on a night maneuver, and I had a foot that was swollen about twice the size. So I went to the medic, and he said, "You got a foot infection, So anyway, they didn't send me out that night. Well, my squad went out, and they were attacked, and 4 of them were killed that night. So
If you could go back and change it, would you choose to not go, or would you choose to go again if you could go back and change?
I'd go, yes. I think it's our duty, to serve our country,
Mm-hmm.
If we want to keep our country free, we got to fight on the other grounds, not here. We don't want a war here in the United States.
No.
So let's go over there and fight over there and keep it over there.
Yeah.
And all we're doing, we're just fighting for other people's freedom, just like we do for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'd go back.